their best life, right? So if you want to live, and you would think, I would think that all of you want to live your best life, right? So if you want to live your best life, the emphasis is on how do I gain that wisdom and knowledge that I need so I can live my best life, and that's what Proverbs lays out for us, okay? So, all right. So, let's go ahead and drop on down. Just to recoup a few things. We talked about that, what? Number one, leading up to here, we talked about the fact that Solomon said that if you're going to live your best life, one of the things that you should not forget is what your parents taught you, right? Because in recognition of what? Your parents were looking out for your better interests, and oftentimes we become adults, we tend to feel like we're grown now, you can do what you want to do, but the bottom line is you should never forget the wisdom of your parents, right? We also noted that what Solomon said, be careful how you set traps for people, right? Because Solomon said when you set a trap for somebody else, there's a strong probability that how you set for them, you will end up falling in it yourself, right? And then he indicated that the way to progress, the way to be better, is never hid from God's children. Now, what God's children tend to do is to get blind, right? It's not that God don't show you the way. It's that what? We refuse to see the way that God is showing us. And there's a reason why we don't see the way God is showing us, right? And we talked about what that is. And what is one of the primary reasons why we don't see what God is trying to reveal to us? Right, because we already have a preconceived notion of what it ought to be like. And so when it goes contrary, because most people don't look to the Bible to find out what to do, look to the Bible to confirm what they think already ought to be done. Right? Because what we do is we find that verse that fits us where our head is at, and that's what the verse we lay in. That's mine right there. See, I knew the Lord wanted me to do that, so that's what we follow. Rather than saying, what does the Bible say generically about its subject matter and operate in that framework, right? One of the things we talk about is this. One of the problems that Christians have, and I'm saying the problem that Christians have, why? Why am I saying the problem that Christians have? Because y'all Christians, right? I mean, the problem that sinners have is, why? Most of the sinners ain't here tonight. Where they at? They're home somewhere. So I'm talking to Christians. All right? See, so one of the biggest problems Christians have is simple. And that is when it comes to dealing with how we're going to move forward, in the Lord. And one of the reasons why we don't like to accept the handwriting on the wall is because if I accept the handwriting on the wall, what does it say about me? That means that I'm wrong. Now here's the irony of this is the irony. Here's the irony of it when people are asking for spiritual advice or seeking God or however they're doing it. How many of you think that people are seeking spiritual advice when they're doing great? Isn't that a kick in the head? That I'm not seeking advice because I'm doing wonderful. I'm not seeking advice because my marriage is great. I'm not seeking advice because all my bills are paid. I'm not seeking advice because we're going to pop top of the world. Why am I seeking advice? Because I'm catching hell, right? So if I'm catching hell, shouldn't that suggest that I ain't got sense enough to not catch hell? Wouldn't that suggest that? Can I say it again? If I am not living the life that I want to live, wouldn't that suggest that what I think I should be doing, I ain't got sense enough to do? Then why do we try to keep doing the same thing? But that's what we do, right? Now, we will keep trying to find something to justify to us that what we are doing is okay. When we are catching hell doing what we are doing. Because our concept is, I'm okay, y'all crazy. But the reality is, I'm crazy because I'm the one catching the hell. So that means what? I need to be trying to change. And the only way, yes, my dear.
I had read this devotional plan. It's like a 5-day plan, and it was saying like the lies that we want to believe
3, and chapter 4, and chapter 5, and chapters all the way through Proverbs. And is that the problem with everybody in this room? Huh?
Yes.
You changing, you're right, you're changing. You're moving forward, you're moving forward. The problem, you know why the problem? Because that's what people, see, people don't want to admit that they are wrong.
That's right.
And if you don't want to admit you are wrong, you're not looking to change, you're looking to find what justifies you being right.
That's right.
Okay? And if you're right, then that means God must be wrong. So who am I going to think is right, you or God? I'm going to think God, and you may think differently, but that's not, I'm going to think God is right, okay? So that's what I'm saying. And so that's why, that's what he's saying here, is that the problem isn't that God don't show us. The problem is that we refuse to see what he's shown us because we're so busy trying to see what we want to see. Okay? Now.
Suppose you're confused about what you're seeing.
Nah, you ain't not confused. No, it ain't you confused. It here's what it conflicts with what you already have in your mind. It's a conflict. None of us like conflicts when it comes to what we think. See, here's the deal. There's nothing in the Bible that's so secretive that it hadn't been revealed. That's what that verse says. So what in the Bible is so secretive that God has not revealed it? Can you think of anything that's so secretive that God hadn't revealed it? For example, is there anything that tells you what you think? That ain't a secret. You said when. Let me tell you when. It's not a secret when he's going to come back. It depends on how you define time. See, some people define time as what? January 31st. He told you when. When he going to come back? When he get ready.
But speaking of
right?
those,
You know what he said?
yeah.
But you're right.
Can I ask a question, Robert?
Yes, you can.
Now, God is merciful, right?
Yeah, and he is.
Why does he let people kill each other? Don't he should intervene or something like this?
No, he shouldn't.
Why not?
Because see, you view death as being a problem. God doesn't.
Shouldn't ain't that a sin to kill other people?
I said you view death as being a problem. God doesn't. Doesn't matter whether it's a sin or not. See, you view death as a problem. God doesn't view death as a problem. We view it as a problem. Why do you think we view death as a problem?
Because it's like our loved ones that's dying.
No, because we crazy, right? It's because what? It's because we have a fixation in our own mind that defies what the Bible says. Okay? Because the issue is, what does the Bible say about death? Absent from the body, present with the Lord. Now you explain to me why that's bad. Why is going to heaven bad?
I don't think it's the part of going to heaven, because everybody don't know where they're going.
Well, no, but okay. Who did I say I'm talking to in here today? Christians. Christians. Now I might have some people in here that ain't Christians, but I'm teaching to people who I believe to be Christians. So I'm talking from a Christian background, right? From a Christian background, is there any way you know of to get to heaven other than through death?
Nope.
Me either. There may be, right? We can get raptured, right? But does rapture mean you don't die? No, it doesn't.
No.
Why? Because he said the body won't get there.
Right.
So it might happen so fast that you don't think about it, but your body ain't gonna go to heaven. Your soul is gone, which means your body. So what is death though? Death is the removing of the soul from the body. That's really all it is. Follow me? Just when the rapture comes, it happens so fast you don't think about it that way. But you know what? That's where death is anyway. You ain't gonna think about it anyway. It's like trying to ask yourself this question: how long was I in my mother's womb? Do you remember?
9 months?
No. Do you remember? You don't know it was 9 months. You're guessing. You ain't got a clue. It could have been 7 months. You don't know. It could have been 9 months and 5 days. You don't know. Why? Because you don't remember. And so if you don't remember, then what makes you think you're going to, if you are in the state of transition, you will remember time. Do you know why you remember time? Because time for you is linear. It's linear. Time with God is not linear. Time with God is in a circle. Why? He says, I am the beginning and the end. That means, how can he be both at the same time? That means it has to fold on top of itself. So that means with God, there is no such thing as time. That's why he said what? To you a day is a day. To me a day can be 1,000 years, or 1,000 years can be like a day. Right? So we have a problem with death. That's why I said in the beginning when we first started talking, right? Our concepts are one thing. That don't mean that's God's concept. So when we try to take life and put it in our terms, we fail to do what the Bible in Proverbs tells us to do. And that's why we get messed up. Because nobody in here wants to die, including me. And we're going to fight tenaciously to not die. Right? And then we're going to pray the Lord's Prayer. Right? And isn't that a moronic thing to do? I don't want to die. I'm in the hospital. Come on, y'all, let's get together and pray the Lord's Prayer. Huh? That's the stupidest thing I've heard of. Why? But don't we do it all the time? What does the Lord's Prayer say?
Thy will be done.
If it's his will be done, why am I sitting there acting like what? Right? What does the Lord's Prayer say? Think about this. What does the Lord's Prayer say? No, not just that one little prayer. Huh? Whoa! That's the part. Thy kingdom come. Which kingdom are you asking to come? When Jesus come back, thy kingdom come. You're sitting there on your deathbed trying to pray, Lord, let me live longer. And the prayer is, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Thy kingdom come means, Lord, come back right now. Take me, Jesus.
Take a phone. Take a phone.
Take me and my mama and everybody I know. You see why I say we crazy? Right. I mean, not literally crazy, but you know what I mean. Right. Okay. All right. So that's why he says what? I show you, you just won't see. Okay. And that takes us to 22. All right. He says, how long, ye simple ones? Look, it ain't just me calling y'all crazy. That's what the Bible says. That's in Solomon. He said, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Right? He's just telling people what? How long we gonna act crazy? Right? How long will you not accept God is God? Okay? Then he says, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Now listen, I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to make it plain. It's not like I'm not going to make it plain. Because I have called you. And what? Ye refuse. I'll stretch out my hand. No man regardeth. I put it out there, and you wouldn't take it. Okay? But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. Right? I gave you the good word, but you don't take it. Right? I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel. They despise all of my reproof. Therefore, they shall eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. So, what he says is just straightforward stuff, ain't it? He says, you made your bed, you lie in it. Right? Why? Because you are refusing. You have refused to listen to the counsel I gave you. You have refused to follow the way that I laid it out for you. I made your way plain. I told you specifically what you needed to do to be prosperous, and you have refused to follow it because you are too smart for me. Okay? Now, if you think about, if you really are honest, if any of you are honest, here's what you can bank on. You are not where you are because you follow God. If you're in a bad place and you are honest about it, you're not where you are because you follow God. You're where you are because you thought you were smart enough to make it work. And so you followed what you thought was the best way to go. In fact, I would be willing to wager to you, there are many of you in here right now that have heard me preach sermons and you thought to yourself, nope. That don't apply to me. And I bet there are folk, and I bet there are folk in Bible study class. Matter of fact, I know, because last week we had to do what? We had to go back and forth, right? Because there are folk, even in here, that I'll say something, and you always say, no, it ain't true, Pastor. And I had to show you where it is true, and you say, oh, well, I didn't think about it that way. Right? It's just that simple. Now, what if you don't have me or someone like me when you're thinking your thoughts to come back and show you that your thought was crazy? So what do? You keep on going by what you thought. It ain't like God didn't lay it out there, but you keep on going by what you thought because nobody did correct you. And even when you are telling yourself you're wrong, you say, no, I'm not. Because this is what you do, you weigh it out, right? Someone tell you, no, that ain't quite right. Then you'll say, but wait a minute. Think this thing through right quick. No, yeah, I think I am right. Because I remember I did talk to this person about it, and they agreed with me. So I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. Right? Now, here's what most of us know, like I keep telling you. We're not where we are because we've been making good decisions. We're where we are because we made crazy decisions. But we keep on making crazy decisions. And then we want to blame God. Then we want to come pray about it. Let's back up for a little bit. Hear what he says. They shall call upon me. But what? I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. That to me is so powerful, it ought to scare you. Right now, there ought to be some folk in here right now saying, Lord, I repent. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be stupid. I'm straightening up right now. Can you imagine what this just says? See, I know your thinking was that every time I get in trouble, God will pull me out of it. And I don't know why you think that way. Right? Now, I mean, think about this. How many of you have been in trouble and had to stay in trouble? Right? So here's what you know. That is what? Every time I get in trouble, don't mean that God will pull me out of it, right? Right? But somebody has made you think that he will. Even though the Bible says he won't. Right? Because we so hung up on grace and mercy that we act like that grace and mercy, well, we're like grace and mercy rules out discipline. But grace and mercy does not rule out discipline. Just because you're getting grace and mercy don't mean you don't get whoopings. That's chapter 3. All right? In fact, grace and mercy means I will whoop you more. Why? Why do you think grace and mercy means I'll whoop you more? Not just because you know better, but that's true too. Because I need to get you back in line. Why does grace and mercy rule me getting you back in line?
Because it says that I'm going to
Okay, no. Because it's not him trying to kill you. You're killing yourself.
But it also, as I'm getting
No. Listen to my question. Why does grace and mercy demand, I shouldn't say demand, why does grace and mercy cause God to discipline you? What is it about grace and mercy that would cause him to discipline you?
because he loves you. He's trying to protect you.
And how is that showing you grace? And how is that showing you mercy?
Because if
You said it, but you said it backwards.
okay, it's to keep you from hurting yourself.
Bingo!
Which can
Not keeping him from killing you, it's keeping you from killing you. Because if he didn't correct you, you'd be worse off than where you are.
which cans me to what I was going to say earlier. It has helped me as I'm getting older. People used to say, "You're in your own way,"
Uh-huh. You got a revelation there, bro.
because of the foolishness that we do. We got to stop. And I didn't understand that when I was a kid. When the Lord would say, "Get out of your own way."
That's it. That's it. See, that's because, think about, see, why does a parent check? You didn't hear him?
It was an old saying that said you chastise the ones you love.
Well, not just an old saying that's in the Bible. Those I love, I chase and rebuke. But why? Right. Here's why. Because if I don't want to show you mercy, I'll let you keep going. Why? Because you deserve to keep going. You put yourself on the road to ruin, so you should keep going to ruin. But only because I have mercy for you, I will stop you from going to ruin. Because if I give you what you deserve, you will keep going to destruction. Right? But mercy says, don't let you go to destruction. So how do I stop you from going to destruction? It's only one way to do it, which is what? Chastise you, discipline you in some way. Because if I don't, you ain't going to turn around. You're going to keep right on going. Right? Follow? Yeah, absolutely. Okay? All right. Then 32:33 says this. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whosoever hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. Okay? For the turning away of the simple shall slay them. What we just talked about, right? If you don't follow the Proverbs that he's laid out, he's saying what? That will cause you to destroy yourself. The turning away from my word will cause you to destroy yourself. Okay? And then he says, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. So we got two separate groups of people, right? We got one group that thinks they're smart. And so they turn to their own ways. And that caused them to, get to a bad place. We got another group that's foolish. And so therefore, they will end up falling to the wayside. Why? Right, you're right. You're right. But let me give it to you in the context of the text, right? The prosperity of the fool shall destroy them. Here's the thing. We have been taught that you learn more from your mistakes than you learn from your successes. Right? Now, if I am a fool and I am prosperous, I have not learned, have I? So if I am prosperous, even in my foolishness, what will I keep doing? The same thing. And if I keep doing the same thing, after a while it will catch up with me. That's what this is referring to. Because see, wise people, here's what wise folk do. See, the foolish people think just because it brought them prosperity that it was the right thing to do. Wise people don't think that way. Wise people always are questioning what happened and was this luck? Right? Was this the result of what I did that caused me to get here? You know, for example, you ever got a job you know you didn't deserve?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? Now here's what we don't stop to think about. Why did I get it? Why? Was it really my resume? Right? See, if it wasn't your resume that got you there, then what you ought to do when you do get the job is not act like it was your resume that got you there. You follow what I'm saying? But see, the fool would think that the prosperity that was it, so therefore I must be smart. So now you think you're smart just because you got the job. You're the supervisor, so now you think you're smart. Well, I am in charge around here. I am, as a matter of fact, I'm a supervisor. No, you just, somebody didn't have sense enough not to hire you, so they did. Follow me? But see, if I'm wise, because here's what you know. I don't know about you, but this is what my experience has been. That I know fools that got supervisory jobs and then got fired. In fact, I'm gonna tell you something, don't get mad. I have did that just to get somebody fired. Promoted them to a level of incompetence. Because that was the only way to get rid of them. In their minds, their thinking was, I'm smart, because I managed accountants. I'm smart. I was thinking, I am so sick of you. Let me give you this job doing this type of accounting, where I know you can't do, and let you fail. Then it's not me, it's somebody else getting rid of your behind. Too late now. You can't tell them. No longer working for the federal government. Too late. All right? But my point is, see, a smart person will always ask themselves, am I here because of this or am I here because of that? The fool will not question it. That's why they get a downfall, okay, in their prosperity. Okay, that makes sense to you? All right. Any questions about chapter 1? Okay. Chapter 2 we already covered. For those of you who were not here, we covered chapter 2, which led us to decide to stay in Proverbs, all right? So I'm not going to go through 2 again, but if you have any questions on 2, read it, and I'll answer them next week for you. Yeah, I just remember something. I had a question that was asked of me, but I'm going to answer that question as we are in 3, okay? Let me go back and remember the verbiage of the question so you will know what I'm referring to. And what I've decided to do is anytime somebody have a question, that we'll kind of go over it in Proverbs. You know what? I don't have it with me. But basically the question was similar to this. Correct me if I'm wrong. The person that asked me, if you don't mind saying it out loud. Basically the question was this. How to live a holy life surrounded by hell. You follow what I'm saying? Is that how do I live a great life when all the temptations around me are pushing me to not to live a holy life, right? Because most people face that just in simple terms, right? I'm just kind of like going at it that way, okay? All right. So let's look at 3, okay? Because 3 kind of deals with that, That's what I like about Proverbs. It deals with life in a practical manner. It's practical stuff. It's down-to-earth stuff. Practical stuff. Okay? Now, verse 1 through 4. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandment. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and men. Okay, right? So he starts off, in each chapter, he starts out with a simple premise, right? And that premise is, hey, listen, I am saying all of this so you can live your best life, right? Okay, so he's saying what? Here's the deal. If you want to live a good life, right? Don't forget the things I'm telling you. Don't forget that what I'm telling you are based on experience, right? Because this is not a young Solomon. This is an old Solomon, right? Who's been around a little while. He said, all this is based on my experience. And I don't want you to repeat the mistakes that I have made, okay? And that's why it's good to listen to your parents sometimes. I know we think our parents are old and senile, all that kind of stuff. But you know what? Even in their old and senile-ish ways, you know what they still have? Experience. You know? And even though they might be senile 6 days out of the week, but on that 7th day, something will pop up and they'll be just clear as a bell. Okay? So talk to them anyway. All right? All right? And he says what? If you do this, how many of you all want longevity and peace in your life? There you go. He says, if you want longevity and peace, what? This is it. I'm telling you, this is what you, this is your chapter, right? So if you want longevity, if you want peace, this is your chapter. This is the one that you want to take, lock it in there, and follow it just like it was gold. All right? Okay. First it says what? Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Right? Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Right? Why do you think mercy is so important? Right, true. Okay, here's the deal. He says this. I'm telling you this because you want favor from two different limits, right? You want favor from God, right? And you want favor from man. Because even though God is in control, man is still wicked. Right? So I want favor from God and man. Because if I want peace, that peace is not based on my favor with God. Totally. Now, it's true, I can have peace with God, but having peace with God don't mean you got peace with man. Right? How many of y'all go to church on a semi-regular basis? All right. So if you go to church, here's what you know. What? That the church is filled with people that take away your peace. Right? I don't mean they're trying to do it. I'm just saying they do. Not because they're evil. I'm just saying that's the way life is, right? Okay, for example, how many of you no longer have small children? Yes. Okay, and see, if you ain't got small children, the person with the baby takes away your peace. Why? Because you sitting up in church and you don't want to hear nobody crying. You don't want to hear all that kind of stuff. You don't want candy stuck on the bottom of your chair. You want to come in and sit down with your new clothes. I want to get up and they ain't got a red piece of candy stuck to your dress, right? You don't want to hear crying. Why? Because your hearing crying days are over. But that don't mean the baby is trying to be bad. The baby just crying. But when you see that, your mind is this. I don't know why. Let's see who that baby crying. Ain't no way she don't. Why don't she get up and go in the back? Right? But when you had a baby, guess what? You didn't think it that way. That's what I'm saying. It don't mean a person is being mean. It's just what? They still taking away your peace. Okay? So people take away your peace without being mean. So what Solomon is saying is what? If you want to have longevity, you want to have peace, you want favor of God, and you want favor of man. And what he's saying is, the way you can get favor with man is to have a merciful character. Trouble, you glad they're in trouble. Yes. Yeah, good enough for them. They deserved it anyway. They just wait. But people that are always merciful, you give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay? That's what he's referring to here. Okay? Right? That's why he says, so if you do this, you get favor both ways. All right? Any questions? Everybody good? Everybody understand? All right? So what does it mean to give mercy?
Show love.
Right? It's the act that what? Shows people that you love them. Right? And so how do you then show mercy? Let the baby cry. Right? True that. How else do you show mercy? Just in a practical way. What does it really mean to show mercy in a practical sense? It's being patient and kind as what? Mercy is when I do something very simple. And that is, and from an action standpoint. From an action standpoint, mercy is judging you the way I want you to judge me. That's really what mercy is. You know, because again, we can talk about this very philosophical and well-to-do definition, but that ain't what you're going to really apply daily. Okay? Right? Mercy is what, when I try to understand you, or treat you, or respond to you based on how I want you to respond to me. So that's real mercy. Let me tell you why I'm saying that. Because mercy says I judge you the way I want you to judge me. Now that means if I judge you the way I want you to judge me, I'm giving you mercy because what? I don't want you to judge me harshly because I did bad. I want you to have mercy. See, I know, but see, we don't necessarily call it mercy, but that's what it really is. because everybody in here, as I mentioned to you, I think it's on this Sunday or last Sunday, all of us want people to judge us based on how we intend, not based on how we acted. It's our intentions we want you to go by, right? We want to go by what? I didn't mean to hurt you. I know I hurt you, but what? I didn't mean to hurt you. Even if I stole from you, I want you to go by my intentions. What? I was so hungry and I was so destitute that's why I stole the money. If I wasn't that hungry, I would have never stolen it. So we want you to what? To not prosecute us because you want to judge us by our intentions. Now, if you don't, or you're going to think of what? That's a thief. You going to jail. You follow what I'm saying? Because everybody in here has done an action that is worthy of being called thievery. Right? Let's face it. You know you're taking stuff out of an all-you-can-eat restaurant when it was really not, you can take it out of there. Right? You know you stole some extra napkins from McDonald's, Burger King, somewhere like that. Some extra sugar, some extra salt and pepper, some extra pepper. You go to the Chinese restaurant and they got all the soy sauce up there. They mean get one or two of them and then boom, whole pot, go home. And you got soy sauce for days, right? You don't even need all the soy sauce you got. You don't need all the junk sauce but you got it in your house anyway, right? Just in case, right? Okay, so that's what? Thievery. But you don't be calling you a thief. Right? You follow me? Okay. So that's why mercy ends up allowing you to get favor from people because they think of you differently. Okay? We good? Yes, all right. Okay. 5. Now 5 through 8 hang together as well. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not to thine own understanding. Right? We always quote this one right here. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Be not wise in thine own eyes, fear the Lord, and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. So, I mean, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that because that's been the essence of what we've been talking about, right? It's just straightforward stuff. What? Stop trying to be smart and accept that I ain't right. That's just the bottom line. Right? Yeah, just accept it. Because if you don't do that, you will think you know too much. Okay? And you will stop following God and you will start following yourself. Okay?
That's why he was the author.
Only he could do it, right? Only he could do it. That's right. Okay? All right? All right. Now, 9 and 10. We talked about this a lot, so I'm not going to stay here long either. Okay? Honor the Lord with thy substance and with the first fruits of thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. Right? Straightforward stuff, right? What's that saying to you? Time. Say the first fruit, right? Go ahead and time. He said what? If you want me to what? Burst out your stuff. If you want to be filled with plenty, if you want to have more than what you need, what? If you want to be overflowing, he says what? It's simple. It's straightforward stuff. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Right? Okay. All right. Now we're rolling, okay? My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son, in whom he delighteth. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Look at what he said you get if you do this stuff right here. What? Length of days and what? Wealth. All right? Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her, and happy is everyone that retaineth her. Happy is everyone that retaineth her. Now, this is some killer stuff here, if you understand it and digest it in the proper light. Because what this is talking about is this. See, if you think about what draws us to act as if we're not Christians. And what's the main thing? Come on, let's be wrong. What's the main thing? Huh? Or lack of. Okay, not pleasure, but what? The lack of pleasure. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they put it in real terms. What draws you to act unchristian-like is not what you have, but what you don't have. Right? The lack of pleasure will cause you to do some stuff. Right? And so what? What my mind will see is all the other stuff is pleasurable. So therefore, let me take hold of some of that stuff. Because where I am is not pleasurable. Because if where you are is pleasurable, you don't seek other stuff.
That's true.
Right? Nobody says, I got $1 million, but I'm jealous of your 1,000. So I'm going to leave my 1,000,000 and go get your 1,000. You follow me? Because what? If it's pleasurable, you're right there. If you have the riches, it's right there. Okay? Now, that's the essence of sin. It is desiring that. Right? How, if I'm living in a world of righteousness, and all around me is unrighteousness, why would I seek unrighteousness? I know, but why would I do it? No, why? Okay, now being very practically. Why, huh?
Not satisfied.
Right, because I'm not happy in my righteousness. See, just because you saved don't make you happy. We want to lie and act like it does, but it doesn't. Just being saved don't make you happy. You don't get, Lord, accept Christ as my personal Savior. Boom! Marriage just as good as it can be now. You come home, she got pork chops and mashed potatoes and collard greens and biscuits and apple pie and banana pudding and iced tea and lemonade ready for you because you got saved. That ain't what happened. Right? You got saved and all of a sudden you come home and say, baby, I just got a brand new job making $400,000 a year. You ain't got to work no more. That ain't what happens, is it? No. See, just getting saved don't make you happy. And because you are not happy, you look for happiness where you think it is. The key to staying in your righteousness is to being happy in your righteousness. You with me? Not just content. Happy. See, because content means, well, it's all right. I deal with it. I don't want to just deal. See, I don't want to go through life just dealing with it. I don't want to go through life just okay. I want to go through life happy. I want to go through life with joy. See, you don't leave joy for sadness, but you will leave sadness for joy. Right? And so what this gives me is an outline for how I can be what? Feeling great where I am, so I don't feel the need to go where you are. Right? For example, why is it that single folk want to be married and married folk want to be single?
I know that's right.
Yeah, right. Isn't that the craziest thing? See, you married and you're like, oh, I don't know why in the world. Some good old days back when I was Lord. Oh, this was some good old days. What was I thinking? Right? And then you single, you like, you know what? I wish I had somebody in my life. But see, you follow me? See, so why is it you want what they have and they want what you have? It's because what? I'm not happy where I am. But if I could learn to be happy where I was, it wouldn't matter, would it? Right? The single would be seeking marriage and the married would be seeking single. Right? The person with no children would be seeking children and the person with children would be seeking no children. Right? That's what happens, right? People who ain't got children, what? Praying, Lord, please. Give me at least one Lord. Then you get the one. What the world was I thinking? I must have lost my ever-living mind asking for these jokers. What was I thinking? Lord, please let them get to be 18 without me getting older. Please let them get to be 18 without me getting older. Why? Because now what? You can't wait to leave your house. And then when you leave your house, what? sure is quiet now. Looks like y'all will come back and see me every once in a while and visit with me. See, it's all why, because I'm not happy where I am. All right? So that's why I'm going to stay here for a little while. Okay? All right? So what does he say then? He say, my son, number one, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. What? Hey, listen, he said what? Number one, love it when the Lord spanks you. That's the first thing. Why? Because that means the more I love the correction, the more I will take the correction and I will use it in a positive manner to change where I am. See, if you don't want correction, you won't change, you will resist it. Right? I remember, like, there was a time in my life when I got to a certain age, and my mother would whoop me, and I would just say, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to show her that whooping me don't mean a thing. That way she'll stop doing it. So I would just sit there and grin and bear it. Now hit me one more time. You done? I'm serious. I say, you done there, Mom? She be wore out tired. Yeah. All right, then. But let me know. Okay, then I go on bed. Go in the room. Oh. But you know, but then you suck it up, right? You suck it up, right? And then you refuse to really change. You might change just a little bit, but your thought was, I don't want to get in there. You know what I'm saying? But what if you just said, Mama, thank you. Thank you for letting me see what I should have done. And then, because see, then you're going to do what she wants you to do. When you accept God's correction, it causes you to make a change. And as you make the change, you start moving in a direction where he can start doing something for you. Okay? Right? Because what he just told you, what, in chapter 1, what? The simple one, I'm going to let them stay simple. Right? Okay. Hold on. All right. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth. Right? Even as a father, the son in whom he delighted. Then he said what? Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. Two things. One, happy is, because that's what I'm trying to, I want to be what? Happy. Happy is the man that getteth wisdom. Now to my old school folk, right? What did I always tell you the difference was between wisdom and knowledge? Right? Knowledge is the collection of information. Wisdom is knowing how to use the information in a way that benefits you and those around you. Just having knowledge don't mean a thing. It's knowing how to apply it in a way that benefits not just you, but those around you. That's wisdom, right? So he's saying that when you can get to that point, that starts you on the road to happiness. When you get wisdom, not just got knowledge, but when I get wisdom, okay? When I understand how to use what I'm getting in, right? And the second thing he says it's going to get me happy is what? When a man getteth understanding. That's the hardest thing. And he said man, ladies. He didn't just mean what? Us. That's the hardest thing for us to do, is get understanding. Okay, and let me tell you why. Because most of us are so wrapped up in what we believe our purpose is, we have not tried to really ascertain what God's purpose is. Now, here's why I'm saying this to you. You don't understand why you're where you are. That's why you want to be somewhere else. Right. Testify, Dr. Funk. You almost said hallelujah, girl. I want you. But that's it, right? Because if you understood it, it would change the dynamics of where you're trying to go. Right? You follow what I'm saying? And that's the thing. He's saying, but you need to understand. See, here's the thing. If God is directing your pathway, doesn't he know where to take you?
Amen.
And how long to leave you? And when to move you? Now, how many of you all have said, I just want to do God? I just want to do God. But you don't even understand yet what his will is for you. And if you don't understand it yet, you're walking around unhappy because your thought process is, I'm not going anywhere. I'm stuck. How do you know you're stuck when you don't know yet what God's plan is for you? See, it's like a preacher that has a church that has 20 people. And he's upset because he got 20 people and he's a pastor. Because you know what? He wants to be T.D. Jakes. Because his thought process is, that's the kind of pastor I think I need to be. No, you don't. How many apostles did Jesus have? Was he worried? Was he walking around saying, Lord, how come I ain't got the 12 following me? Huh? But why did he say he was following me? Why did he? Bingo. He said, y'all want me because what? I gave you physical food. Follow? But see, that's what we want. We want to position ourselves not based on our understanding of where God is trying to put us. So therefore, we feel stuck. Right? See, you may feel stuck with the $35,000 a year job because in your mind, a $90,000 a year job will make you happy. Because you ain't talked to this person. See, you forgotten to look out at the folk that were making $90,000 and see they miserable. You forgot all about Michael Jackson couldn't sleep at night when he had more money than all of us put together got. Better career than all of us got. Grammys and all this kind of stuff. Gold records, platinum records, all that kind of stuff. Right? And still died from propofol. Why? Because he was so depressed he couldn't sleep at night. No peace. Because he didn't have understanding. You follow me? But he said when you get that, you get with understanding to change your whole dynamics. Because now you see who you are and what your purpose is. And your purpose is not just to make money. That's not your purpose. You want to make some money, become a counterfeiter. Right? But I'm just saying, right?
Yeah, how do you know when you got the purpose? Like when you found it.
That's why you gotta have, we're gonna get to that too.
Gotcha.
That's why what? Seeking what? Understanding. That's why he said what he said, what? Happy is the man that what? Findeth and getteth. He understands that it's hard. Solomon even says, you haven't read this yet, but if you read Ecclesiastes, he tells you, I didn't figure it out till I was old and about to die. You get to the final chapters of Ecclesiastes, and here's what he says. I finally figured out what the whole duty of man is. To fear God and keep his commandments. He said, it took him a whole life to figure that thing out. He said, all is vanity. Okay? So, but we're going to take our time. I said we're going to take our time to go through this thing. This is important here because you want to get there so you can be happy where you are, so you won't allow other stuff to influence your decisions. Because if being happy where you are, you're going to go out to what you... Think about this for a second. Now we got to go with the folk out there. We got some kids there, very funny. but here's what's also, in Proverbs. Here's what it says. Okay. Give me not too much or too little. Lord, if you give me too little, I'm going to steal. And if you give me too much, I'm going to forget you. Why? Because the Proverbs is recognizing something. That it is gaining a whole lot does not mean I'm going to be happy with it. And too little, I'm not going to be happy. I got to get the understanding of where I fit in the whole realm of things. When I get there, I'm locked in and I'm happy, and you can't get me out of that position. Because I ain't going to move when I get where I need to be. We're going to tell you how to get there, how to understand it, and all that kind of good stuff. But unfortunately, this is a 1-hour class, and it is 7:59. And kids out there saying, Mama, come pick me up.
Prayer.
But we gonna pray.
Prayer.
Why? Because we need prayer for surgery. We need prayer for family members. We need some prayer, right? So we gonna pray.